Have you been injured in a motor vehicle accident? With over 40 years of experience in personal injury litigation, James Milady and his team at Lawyers West LLP, well, they've seen it all. Do not settle for less. Check them out now at www.lawyerswest.ca to set up your free consultation.
You're listening to Daily Hive, and this is the Week Ahead Podcast. Now here are your hosts, Ryan Sullivan and Jay DeMerit.
All right, here we go. It is go time, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome.
There it is.
To another Week Ahead. My name is Ryan Sullivan. His name is Mr. Jay DeMerit.
I don't know which camera to look at now. We got all these cameras.
We've got a bunch. Why don't we go through the mix here? We got camera 2 over here. That is my face, and we'll get you hooked up in just a minute. But so we're just at a 2-camera operation. It's a rinky-dink 2-camera, but very soon it will be at 3, maybe even 4. We'll see.
Now
things are crazy at the Week Ahead, but of course brought to you by James Milady and Lawyers West. Brought to you from, of course, the beautiful, comfy confines of the broom closet at the Daily Hive here. And thank you to Kiprios, as always, for the voiceovers. On this show, we've got the one and only Luke Willson coming on, current free agent. Seattle icon in Canada. I don't know if we
Not maybe in Seattle, but in Canada.
Absolutely.
Yes. People love him.
I don't know if we can say
I love him.
Former Seattle Seahawks. I don't think that's...
No, I don't think we should jump to conclusions.
Exactly. So we'll get to that. That's going to be Luke Willson coming up in just a few moments here. The guy's an absolute beauty. The pride of LaSalle, Ontario.
Pride of LaSalle.
I don't even know...
Some of the best hair in the business is why we like to talk about hair on the show.
We do. Yeah.
Another guest with great hair.
Absolutely. So we'll get to that. And then the headlines are... they're gorgeous. Fergie Ferg. Oh, I'll get it going. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'll get you going.
This is top of mind.
It's beautiful. It's so bad that it's beautiful. There's just something about it, that's I don't know. She performed during the Super Bowl, if you remember that, with the Black Eyed Peas, just a few years ago, and that was one of the worst things I think anyone has ever seen. And then she brings out this performance and just blows it out of the water. Your camera's working. You can see the light switch perfectly.
See that?
Yeah. So that's pretty solid. But anyhow, we're going to get to Fergie Ferg. We're going to get to the Indogene headlines. But first, we will get to the Berard Physiotherapy headliner. And that, of course, as you know, the one and only Luke Willson. But let's talk a little bit, whether it's been T-boned, rear-ended, a head-on collision, or like our guest, Luke Willson. He's no stranger to absorbing huge collisions on the football field. But for the average listener, or the above-average listener or viewer like yourself, motor vehicle accidents can result in muscular pain, that's the word, and dysfunction that can affect your daily routine and quality of life. Our friends at Berard Physio, they are here to help. If you've been involved in a motor vehicle accident, trust your recovery and the caring and the knowledge from the therapists at Berard Physiotherapy. Their dedicated therapists have a wealth of skills, including IMS, which we love, manual therapy, and exercise prescription, along with their specialized equipment like shockwave therapy and the anti-gravity treadmill. With over 150 years of combined experience, you know you're in the right hands at Berard Physiotherapy. Now, we will talk, actually, we're going to go on location in a few weeks. I didn't tell you about this just yet. Oof. There's something going on that does involve...
Have you been in an accident before?
I've been in a couple fender benders, but nothing too traumatic.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
I was the first on scene for a fatal accident.
Wow.
Once.
Okay.
In Chicago. I had to testify because the guy had died.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I did go in front of people and talk about what I saw, and it was crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, well, man.
Behind the scenes on the Week Ahead. I didn't see that on the Jay DeMerit rookie
just
card.
like us.
All right, let's throw things over to the one and only Luke Willson. And before we get to that, I should mention we do have tons of swag to give away as well. We have $25 to Jaegers. We've got the 50th NHL All-Star Game stamp collection.
I mean, can we just talk about the memorabilia closet that's been opened up? Have you guys seen
good.
the set today?
It's pretty
we
good.
We also have signed helmets.
Yeah.
and some bobbleheads. So, the decor is just,
I'm trying to get the zoom function
full-
going there.
fully where it needs to be.
That did not work out that well, but anyways, yeah, it's not bad. It's decent. So why don't we get to Luke?
Here we are. Let's get to Luke.
A man you know
the man,
well.
the myth, the Canadian legend.
Let's do it.
The
Ladies
pride
and
of
gentlemen,
Willson.
let's throw it over. All right, our guests brought to you as always by Berard Physiotherapy, the one and only Luke Willson. You put up some great numbers over the last 5 years there. Good Canadian boy and a current free agent. Now, with that, we got to ask. I'm positive that you're not allowed to answer, but we'll see what we can do. Are you sticking around the Pacific Northwest? Do you want to kind of spread the wings, see what else is out there, or what are you thinking?
Honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't even know if it's like I don't know if legal is the right term or whatever. If like agents and GMs are allowed to talk right now, like for other teams. I mean, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time in Seattle. I love the Pacific Northwest. Love going to Vancouver. The only other team, I guess, take the football aspect away that I would really enjoy being at city-wise, which is a weird one, but would probably be Detroit, just because I grew up 10 minutes from the Detroit border. But as far as football goes, I mean, this year obviously didn't go as planned, but, playing 5 years in the league and having your worst year 9-7, we're going to win a bunch of games, and the Seahawks will continue to win a bunch of games, and it's a fun atmosphere. Pete Carroll is the man, and yeah, so I definitely would like to be back, but I mean, a lot of factors play into it.
For sure. I mean, and most fans know what goes into a contract. It's not just a good idea. It's got all the pieces have to fit. So, as we came in, can you talk about your time in Seattle and what you love about it so far? You come into the league, you get to play next to guys like Jimmy Graham. What are you learning from guys like that? What have you learned now so far in your first 5? And how are you going to use that now to have another better, an even better 5, I guess would be the question.
I think Jimmy has taught me a lot. When he came here 3 years ago, it was one of those things where the guy is a perennial all-star. I mean, a future Hall of Fame guy. And just to see the way that he approaches every day and the way he works. I remember when he first got in, I was kind of worried, that I'd have some sort of prima donna guy that,
Oh.
I mean, this guy is all business 24/7 and is just, I think the world of him, and just to see, for a guy who's at the top of his game, at the top of our game, the work that he puts in to stay up there, I think that really kind of showed me a lot as far as what it takes off the field, mentality-wise. And then on the field, I mean, you guys see him on game days. He does a lot of special stuff, so that's pretty easy when you're watching film to kind of pick his brain and be like, yo, what were you thinking here? How do you do this? That sort of thing.
The tight end position has evolved a hell of a lot in the last decade. And now it's blocking was always a huge thing, but it's so essential now with everyone's 2 running back system and whatnot. How important, or how much does it factor into your decision perhaps, or even does it, going to a place where there's a pocket passer versus a guy like Russell Wilson where you always have to have eyes in the back of your head knowing where he's going?
Yeah, that is definitely a factor. I don't know how big of a factor. And Jay was saying, it's one of those things where there's so many factors that go into this decision. I mean, everybody knows the big one is obviously money. But beyond that, you kind of, I'd say, just as equally important to most guys as money. I say most guys because I'm sure everybody doesn't feel this way. But it's kind of the culture of the team. It would be very tough for me to go to a team who's not trying to win. And what I mean by that is everybody is trying to win in the NFL. It's not like, okay, we didn't want to win this game. But some organizations put in more effort. I'm sure it's like that across the board as far as free agency goes, as far as taking care of their players, facilities, that whole thing. They want the best situation so that their players will succeed on the field. And Seattle, I think, is the cream of the crop when it comes to that stuff. I mean, our cafeteria, our weight room, our facility down there in Renton is unbelievable. And the vibe Pete spits off is also unbelievable. So it'd be tough for me to go over a team, or even this year when we didn't make the playoffs, it was kind of like one of those things where going into that last game, I legitimately thought, hey, we're going to beat Arizona, go down, beat the Rams. I'm not really thinking this far ahead, but there's not a doubt in my mind that if we're in the playoffs, we're the team to beat, which is, I'm sure everyone would disagree, but in our locker room, that's just how we feel. And so to answer your question, like, I think the factors outside of that, after those two factors, everything else kind of trickles in. Like I said, we're the city, the living situation, kind of your social stuff outside of football, what your role will be. There's definitely like you said, I do watch film and see some other tight ends that have a lot of notoriety. It kind of grinds your gears a little bit because you're sitting there like, I don't know, one of those things where, not to take anything away from these guys, but they're just getting fed the rock. It's late in the game. They're down by 20. They're catching flat routes, and their stat line's got, I caught 98 yards today. And it's like, yeah, your last 50 were in the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter. And so as like a tight end, it is a bit like that stuff, it can get a little annoying, especially because on offense like ours, there's so many weapons. It's hard for guys to get yards. I look at everybody. We very rarely have a 1,000-yard guy or a guy that really consistently puts up 100-yard games. It's kind of like, hey, Jimmy had a big one, Doug had a big one, P. Rich had a big one, Tyler, situations like that. So I don't know. It's one of those things where, yeah, that is a factor. It's a long-winded answer, but at the end of the day, I gotta sit down and put everything together.
100%. Okay, well, we know also now how far you've come, right? And that's also a huge part about people's stories and their own experiences and how they drive their own ships. But for people that listen to our show or are tuning in now for the first time and see your name on the back of a jersey, but can you talk just in a Cliff Notes version? How do you get from LaSalle, Ontario to the NFL?
It's kind of a, yeah.
you know what I mean? I think people. I love rise and shine stories. I'm the same. I come from a background where I should have never been there. Or, we got to take our opportunities when they come because you come in through the back door in a lot of different situations. But talk about your story and kind of for our listeners that don't know who you are. How does that, especially for our Canadian listeners, how did it all shake down?
Yeah, it was a bit odd. Like you said, when I was a kid, I was more of a hockey, baseball kid, which is most kids in LaSalle. Hockey in the winter, baseball in the summer, and everything else kind of, you play your elementary school or high school sports to kind of fill in there. And then I have two older brothers that are big football guys. So I started, first year playing actual football was 8th grade. Just, your peewee, house league, whatever you want to call it, district team. Went into high school, played junior in 9th grade, senior in 10th grade. I was pretty big. And then in 11th grade, the summer going into my senior year, so just high school football, 11th grade, the hockey stuff was looking a little shaky. So in Ontario, which is a little different from BC, we have a summer football league that is very competitive. So our high school is kind of so-so. As far as Canadian terms go, it's not really great as far as if you're playing down south. But we have a summer league team that's kind of like the all-stars from every high school, like an all-district team, whatever you want to call it. And we would play throughout Ontario. So it'd be like, we're going down the road playing London. I think Sarnia had a team. Cambridge, Brantford, all the big counties, everybody would put a team in this league all the way to Sault Ste. Marie. And so pretty much the whole province. So I started playing on that team, and the football there is much better, a little more comparable to the States, much more competitive. And from there, I went to a camp in Waterloo, Ontario. Rice happened to be there. They're like, hey, send some film. And I sent in all this, team's called the Essex Ravens film. And the coach called me back, was like, we were expecting like some really poor film. Like this black and teal team is pretty solid. You guys are pretty good. 2 weeks later, I had a full ride to Rice, which was pretty mind-blowing. I remember taking that cell phone call, my flip phone, and being like, I think he just told me I have a full ride.
Yeah.
You're not really just a Canadian kid who doesn't know much about football. You don't really, that stuff, you don't hear that too often, I should say.
Of course.
So I took a visit down there, and Rice was its own experience, which I won't get into. Some good, bad. But thankfully, I made it out. Had a decent career there. Few injuries I dealt with, especially late in my career, but I got through it. Had a pretty good pro day, and then was sitting in this. I'm in my hometown right now. I was sitting in the basement of this house on draft day, and phone rang with a 425 area code. I answered it, and it was John Snyder. And then since then, I've been up in Seattle, so it's been kind of a cool ride.
Nice, man. That's really cool. Okay, some quick rapid-fire random questions. We're running out of time here, but we'll start things out. Let's see, we got a list here. If a GM came up to you with $20 million a season and a big bag like the one they're going to give Kirk Cousins, and he said, I'm going to give this to you if you sing me a song, which song are you singing?
Whatever song he wants.
It's your choice. And if you sing it to us, we're going to send you a bottle of Connoisseur Viognier. So please, a few bars.
We'll wait till you get here.
It's got to be a singing song.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Wow, I don't want, probably, this is so basic, but I would probably say Don't Stop Believin' by Journey.
Can't go
There
wrong.
you go. Not basic at all. One of the best karaoke classics of all time.
Yeah. Cannot go wrong.
Okay.
I'm ashamed of myself. I should have said something better. I'm ashamed of myself.
No, that's good. That's good. Okay, next question. What is your favorite pump-up song of 2017? What would you listen to before you head out the tunnel?
This year, it was like weird because I go through phases, but this year I was a big heavy metal guy, which is like not really my normal swag. I'll do some techno, I'll do some rap, I'll do some classic rock. But this year I kind of went, not that this is heavy metal, I'd say the first half of the season I was heavy in the Nirvana scene.
Oh.
And then the last half I was going, is it Duality by Slipknot.
Oh, like you say, Duhast.
Yeah.
Duhast is a totally oh.
Nice. Okay, finally, just because I'm sure you hear his name all the time, do you hate Luke Willson, the actor?
Not at all. I honestly, first off, I think the guy's hilarious. I mean, some of his movies have been unbelievable. Secondly, I'm not really sure if it's him, but a mutual friend of ours in Vancouver knows him and was like, hey, apparently this was 3 or 4 years ago, wanted to do a commercial about being like sometimes like sell a commercial, us too, that was going to be like, the premise that was like, sometimes like almost right just isn't right, and was going to have him in like a football like huddle and me in like an acting scene just acting like a big doofus. But
that would have brought the house down in Canada.
Yeah, that'd be sweet, man.
But I don't know if it was legit or not, so maybe I was just texting a random person.
People that I know that don't know NFL, it's like, oh, yeah, we're gonna have Luke Willson on. They're like, the actor? what does it matter?
Yeah.
But very nice, man. Last question: how long is that hair gonna get?
That's a deep question.
And do you find that long hair works better for your game?
Yes, that's why it's back. So when I cut it, I was like, sweet. 2 games later, I got a concussion, my first ever concussion. This was in 2014, 2015, whatever. And then it was like, my first 2 years statistically were my best years in the NFL. Next one wasn't great. Next one I got hurt, missed 6 games. So I'm like, you know what? What's going on? And I realized it's like kind of like Samson or whatever. It's got to be the hair.
Strengthen the hair. What product? We had Russell Tybert. He's Whitecaps captain on the show. He's got fantastic hair. But we always like to ask like guys with great hair, what products do you use? Do you have a special brand that you use, or is this,
I don't know if I'm saying this right, but basically my go-to when I go out now, let's say I can't wear a beanie or a backwards hat, like it's a little more whatever formal, if you will. So I'll wet it, and I have this stuff called, I think it's got an R plus KO. I'm not sure if it's Rockaway. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's a sea salt spray. So
wow, it just hardens it up just enough.
Drench it. No, I'll drench it because my hair's kind of fine, so it'll give it like a little texture, and it kind of looks like this dude just walked off a beach, but he's wearing a suit at the same time look, which is really what I'm going for.
That's a good look. That's a good look, man.
I bet you nailed that look.
Beautiful, man. Hey, thank you so much for joining us, Luke. Really appreciate it, man. Are you actually? I forgot to ask. Are you making it out? If you're not sure just yet, don't throw it out there. But everyone loves the camps when you come up here, and I've been asked to ask you any plans at all.
I don't know yet. A lot of it's going to depend on free agency, and then if I'm on a new team or not. Kind of getting out there. I'd love to come back out. If I'm in Seattle, I'll definitely be up there at some point to get something going. But I got to kind of wait and figure my life out. First things first, I've got to get out of my parents' house. It's weird being 28 and bumped in with your parents again. But hopefully in another month, I'll get that figured out and we'll go from there.
I'll be very disappointed if I don't get to play in your golf tournament again because that's always one of the highlights of my summer.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Hey man, thank you so much, and we'll follow along. We'll follow the news. We wish you all the best, man.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Luke.
All right, dude. There you go.
I really want to see that Luke Willson on Luke Willson commercial.
How amazing would that
Oh
be?
my god!
That'd be incredible.
I'm laughing just thinking about it again.
It would be so good.
It's like those Snickers commercials with like Danny DeVito when you act like the different person. It's fun.
Yes.
And you kind of get that awkward like.
Or the Joe Pesci. DeVito was the Eminem.
It was Pesci.
There we go. Yeah, but that'd be hilarious. I don't know. There's no imagination anymore.
Damn,
it's just a whole lot of nothing.
I mean, unless you're in a runner commercial from Toyota, then the messaging's great.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because we're gonna talk about some commercials pretty shortly. Mm-hmm. One of which happens to be a Toyota runner. Which I saw on Twitter, you were answering a few questions about that. Mm-hmm. Yes,
it's a pretty interesting conversation that we'll have in a second about that whole thing. But
it's pretty good, I gotta say. I'm a big fan of what you got going on there. It's quite the ad, but we'll
get there.
We don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much here. Yes, exactly. Why don't we shift things over and get to the good times of the headlines?
Next, all the day's news headlines.
Haters gon' say it's fake. What's up, real? Haters gon' say it's...
Oh, such a jazzy intro. So good.
Just jazzed up.
It's quite jazzed up. All right, first we're going to tell you about Indochino, and then we're going to get to those sweet headlines, including the jackass of the week. Indochino is the largest custom apparel company. They make suits, shirts exactly to your exact measurements for a great fit. Jay and I love the massive selection. We were just there.
We were there this week. Let's just tell the listeners and viewers what have you gone for in your custom Indochino drab?
I am going for the blue suit. It's like a shiny, shimmering blue. It's
how blue? Like cobalt blue? Like
it's
royal
cobalt
blue? Like full on.
It's a cobalt. Okay. It's light, but it's dark.
Okay. I went for a really light navy, like almost getting to the other side of blue. Because I had a dark navy blue suit, but I don't have like a nicer navy blue, more rich. So if you look at it, it looks blue.
Okay.
Instead of
see, I regret it a little bit because there was a sweet pattern there that was like a black with like this like neon blue kind of crossing pattern.
Could have been a nice dinner jacket. See, that's what I went in for more of the dinner jacket feel. I got a bunch of suits. But I wanted more like of a dinner jacket feel, so something more bold, like I can wear as a jacket with jeans. And I think it'll be interesting. Couple weeks, and we should probably do a show with our suits on.
I think so. I think that'd be pretty sweet.
I think we should do a show with our suits on.
Yeah.
What do you think? We should probably do that.
I think so. I've been looking like an ass in every single show, wearing like children's t-shirts. It's a
real sports fan, guys.
Yeah,
real sports.
I had the Britney Spears T-shirt on a few weeks ago. I got ripped for that one. So yeah, it'd be nice to do a nice little thing there. Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna work it around. We're gonna go check out this Burrard Physio location, and I'll just let the cat out of the bag. We're gonna get a couples massage. The broadcast will be whilst getting a couples massage.
Okay.
So I don't think we need to hold hands. I don't think that's a rule, but it's optional. So
speaking of massages, I heard a friend of mine. I was at a meeting today, and he talked about. Do you know we were talking about eucalyptus and how it's like this scent, or whatever? And he said, "Do you know that if you take like a guzzle full of eucalyptus oil, you die?"
Oh, well, don't do that.
I didn't know that, but he was like, "No, his son."
Yeah.
When his son's 18 now and plays for the Vegas Knights. He's a goalkeeper.
Okay.
And I was talking to him today, but he's like, no, when Dylan was like 3,
yeah,
I was getting a massage, and he came into the room and was messing around, and he had the eucalyptus oil bottle, and it was almost empty.
Yeah.
And the nurse was freaking out, and they brought him to the hospital and had to like pump his stomach and stuff.
Holy cow.
It sounds like if he had drank as much as that bottle showed that he must have dumped it out, or like it was just rubbed it on his lips or something.
Dude.
But the doctor was like, he would have died for sure.
Like a dog.
Just so you know.
A dog eating
as
chocolate.
As a new parent.
Yeah.
I mean, new parent.
Fair enough.
Don't if there's eucalyptus oil around, get it away. I learned that today.
I had a buddy that drank windshield wiper fluid when he was a child. He's all right. I mean, he's not perfect.
And I also
he's not crisp, but he functions. So
great clarity in his life.
Yeah. He's like, I thought it was Kool-Aid. I'm like, you didn't taste that. Maybe it wasn't.
I also heard that if you swallow something that you shouldn't swallow, or if other people or dogs do it or whatever, and the dogs eat your pills or whatever.
Right.
Hydrogen peroxide.
Hydrogen.
A cap or two full of hydrogen peroxide goes down, and then it like bubbles up in your stomach, and it basically ejects anything that's in your stomach. It's like a quick and easy way, home remedy, rather than like coming to a hospital, because you might not get there.
Interesting.
Real medical knowledge here on this show.
Good to know. I like this multiple angles.
Couple quick tips for you.
Yeah, I had some dry nose, and I just flip it over to Jay, and I can give a full scratch. And I had the 2-shot on for that one. You know what? This has been this is not how Indogene wanted their ad to go. So we're gonna dive back into that. Here's how it works: you pick your fabric, you make your customizations, you submit your measurements, you place your order, you give it 3 weeks, and then Bob's your uncle, Harry's your aunt. You're laughing. If you use the promo code WEEKAHEAD, all one word, that's the name of our show, Week Ahead, any premium suit for over 50% off. You can
50%.
get that over 50%. 459 bones, that is over 50% off. Again, Week Ahead is the promo code, all one word, at Indochino.com. Tail Weber's working there at the Vancouver showrooms, and they will hook you up as well. So why don't we just dive right in to the jackass.
Perform the Star-Spangled Banner is an acclaimed singer, songwriter, actress, and 8-time Grammy Award winner from Hacienda Heights, California, Fergie.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming in the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? For the land of the free.
We're gonna get out of there.
We're gonna cut it there.
That's terrible.
That's a long, tortuous.
You could see Draymond Green laughing. And if you went on Instagram and look up Bleacher Report on Instagram, because there's every other player on the floor laughing. You saw Jimmy Kimmel on there laughing too. It was just...
Well, you know what? Okay, this is my take on the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't mind a rendition like that.
I respect the innovation.
If you're in like a cabaret club or a strip club maybe, or like some kind of like where it involves the theatrics of that kind of version.
Like the Chicago movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got
exactly.
you. Yeah.
And why would you bring Chicago to the All-Star game?
That's what I'm saying.
You
This
know
is what I'm saying. I know exactly what you're saying.
Otherwise, she hits high notes, she hits some decent stuff, but come on, this is the All-Star game.
Yeah, I
you just saw like Pharrell and all these other
so
amazing artists doing like
Yeah.
all the dances and the whatever, and then she comes in with a cabaret number.
And we
I'm at Moulin Rouge or something.
We had to cut that off halfway. I wish there was. We were talking about those prop bets for the anthems at the Super Bowl. I wish there was a prop bet for that. If you took the over on the All-Star game anthem, you would have won easy money.
Easy.
Like I bet you cleared if there was an over/under by like a minute, no problem.
No problem.
It was terrible. And like the best part is the scream at the very end, and then let's play some basketball. That's the best part. So go hunt it out on YouTube. I'm sorry we couldn't show you the full clip, but that was agonizing.
We got time constraints here.
Yeah, we got to get moving. So
our listeners deserve more.
Yeah.
God damn it.
However, it does taste a little better with a little sweet.
Certainly.
It fixes the bitter. The sweet, there was a connection I was going for. I couldn't find it, but
I still have a hard time pronouncing the Viognier.
The Viognier.
Viognier.
It's quite good. All right, you know what? Next up, next headline for you. We're talking about the dunk contest, and I'm done. I'm done with the copycat dunks, and we will. I'm gonna play the clips. There's no audio going on, but Larry Nance, albeit his dad did that dunk, so that's pretty cool. But
he's the only one that can do that.
Yeah, so I'm still gonna count it as a copycat. Dennis Smith Jr. The only reason I put this in there is because that was the best dunk of the whole contest, between the legs, with the spin, unbelievable. But then we have Nance from behind the bucket does the Vince Carter, and then we have Donovan Mitchell does the Vince Carter. So by my count, there's 3 dunks that we've seen before, and there was, I don't know, less than 15 or less than 12 dunks in the whole contest, and 3 of them we've seen before. You should get docked points if you do a copycat dunk. No more of this trivia.
So basically, you're saying Vince Carter should have won the dunk contest this year.
You absolutely should have. I mean, it's ridiculous. You're there because of everyone wants to see innovative, new school dunks. And
the
it just
reason
shows
you win is when you're innovative.
Yeah, and it shows no imagination. And I love Donovan Mitchell. This hurts me to say it.
D. Mitch. You could not speak higher of D. Mitch.
I got his 45 tattooed on the lower back. We don't have a camera back there. It's for the best. But I love D. Mitch. But it was terrible, man. And while we're at it, I'm done with the big guys in the dunk contest as well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree. I think, the athleticism of these guys is insane, by the way. And I was watching a dunk recap today of these shows, and Aaron Gordon is his name?
Aaron Gordon, right.
The one that it was the all-time one that it was the one where they had the magic
over the mascot,
and
underneath.
His legs were straight out, like this, but his ass was literally by the magic mascot's head.
Yeah.
With straight out playing legs. And his face, it's just like, plus he's doing this behind the back, like that, it deserves to win. And he didn't even win.
He didn't, that should have won it.
But again, we're talking about last year, not this year or whatever, but either way.
was amazing. But
that kind of stuff is what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
And bring some creativity. I live in the creative world. It's
I agree, man.
It's refreshing when people come and be creative.
Aaron Gordon is a big guy as well, so I am going against my argument a little bit. But they had Andre Drummond in a few years back. That was terrible. Dwight Howard a few years back. That was terrible. Larry Nance, his biggest dunk that everybody lost their mind over. He threw it up off the backboard, went up, tipped it off the backboard again, and dunked it. That's impressive. But if you're 6'9", that's a lot less impressive than, a Dennis Smith Jr. between the legs and whatnot as like a 6'5" or 6'6" guy. It's just,
I would agree with that.
I don't know, man. It takes away from the whole contest. These big guys. I don't even know what Jordan was. I think Jordan was 6'6". There you go. And the guy was incredible. The guy was magical to watch. But these big guys,
but again,
it's just...
we all know this because he did things that we had never seen before.
That's the difference.
Which is your whole point.
That's
and I totally agree with that.
Okay.
So yeah, let's next year. Hey Larry. Okay, you got your dad's one dunk. Next year, let's
you're done.
Let's get creative, bud.
Yeah, one and done. All right. Okay. Next headline. Oh, the ski cross starts tomorrow. Is that right?
Well, yeah, it's midnight tomorrow night.
Okay. So no problem. I'm going to be watching that, guaranteed, because I still love the event. But is this not the worst cross course ever on an Olympic stage?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, probably. But
Yeah.
again, there's only been 2 before, right? So
That's fair.
the
but
thing about ski cross and snowboard cross is that these it's all still relatively new.
yeah.
Literally, Ashley, my wife, who will be commentating. So make sure you guys all tune in to the CBC Olympic broadcast. My
Absolutely.
wife, Ashley DeMerit, former Olympic gold medalist in the sport, the first.
Yeah.
Will be commentating. So it's riveting stuff though. Like if you pay attention to the ski cross or the border cross, it's awesome. Like watching them come through the rounds and seeing that they all jockey for a position and just try to finish second and then to get to the next round and then. And a lot of people don't know that if you win the gold, you've won 4, or not one, but you've gotten through 4 races in a day.
It's very impressive. I mean, it's a great sport to watch. I love sports that, it's not like hockey where you're invested for 3 periods and you're going to surrender 2.5 hours of your night. A heat takes a minute.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Yeah, and it's nonstop action, which is great. The only downside is... it's like if you watch NASCAR and you see a crash, you're like, oh, that's awesome. This is suggesting people watch NASCAR, and you see a crash and you're like, oh, okay, it's a spectacle. It's cool to see. I mean, it's terrible for the people involved. But this course has caused more crashes than I've ever seen. And now it's gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. I'll just go over a couple numbers here and whatnot. So the men's snow cross we're talking here. 5 of 6 guys crashed out in the semis. 1 guy finished the heat. An Aussie completed the small final with a broken hand, which was amazing. He was completely taped up, stiff as a board. And Marcus Scherer, I could be mispronouncing that, of Austria, broke his neck in the snowcross quarters. I was watching it.
No doubt.
We were wondering why it was taking forever to get to the next heat. This guy was down with a broken neck. So there's something wrong with this.
Honestly, this happened, one of the reasons, Ashley, and again, this is not, the courses are getting better. The courses are getting a little bit, there are more people paying attention, but one of the reasons that Ashley stopped racing was because her teammate died.
Oh.
Nick Zoricic, he died at the finish line of a race, and the end fencing, there was this pillar, and it had this big snowbank next to it. And he overshot the last jump, which always is the biggest jump of the course.
Yeah.
And he went sideways and nailed this bank that never should have been there.
Yeah.
And he unfortunately passed away. So because of that, they've been doing a lot of these, safety checks and making sure courses are right. But this is still happening. So they either need to slow it down, as far as how big these
add a few degrees the other way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. How big these I can't remember what they're called, but they're like ramps or jumps or whatever you'd want to call them.
Right.
Because, a lot of people don't understand how fast they're going either. Like, you're talking, 100K or 60, 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And you're going 50 feet in the air.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane.
It's
This is why, I've never actually saw my wife race, but I've seen all of the races a million times and seen her commentate on live races when I've been at these live places. And they're cruising.
Yeah.
And I'm talking 1 little inch and you are in the trees or in the whatever, running into somebody off of 30 feet, and you get injured very, very seriously. And all respect to these crazy. My wife is nuts.
I was working media, man, the bottom of the hill when your wife came down, and I was scared for him because and I say them, the whole pack, because the weather was terrible.
Terrible.
The visibility was garbage, and that last jump, you're just going off into nothing. And you just hope you can see the ground below you.
Unless you're raised in Whistler and you ski on this every day.
Well, there is that,
which is
which the advantage just
a lot, and how she was able to win that first gold medal was because of that. She stood in the start gates and was extremely comfortable in those conditions, and that spoke to BC, of course, but certainly something that she holds on to as to one way she helped win a medal.
Yeah, crazy stuff. And I mean, the ski cross I think will be better because I believe that you have more stability on skis.
For sure.
Because a lot of the accidents are guys are riding, the right foot out front and they're getting swept out from behind and they're just going down with ease sort of thing.
100%.
So it should be a little bit better for ski cross. But make sure you watch that because it is a spectacle. It's a really cool sport. Okay, you know what? Let's talk about another headline and who did it better. If you've seen this during the Olympics, you are fortunate.
I've outrun fear. I've outrun pain. I've outrun anger and doubt.
All right, enough of that. Toyota, little Olympic ad there?
Well, the backstory of that is that they don't tell you what this is for. And I just auditioned as a normal runner, right? Like, so I'm in Vancouver, a lot of these commercials come here. There's this agent that lives in town, and she works with a lot of ex-athletes, and is just like, hey, I got this Toyota commercial. Like, you want to go? It's for a runner. You can run, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, of course I can run. And so she's like, go try. And then literally, like, that afternoon, they knew my story because I told them at the audition. And it's funny because most of the production people that were in charge were English.
Yeah.
So they, of course, would have known me from over there in England, and they were like, oh, we need to make it work. So then they got me as the spot, but then also didn't, like, my story fits the story of the commercial. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of cool parallels that were never meant to be that way. It was just supposed to be a commercial.
Yeah.
But now, like, all the forces, so they kind of pushed to get me in that commercial. They didn't have to pay me anymore or anything like that. Like, normally if it's you go get a actual spot in a commercial as the athlete, you put your name there.
Okay, yeah.
And it you make exponential amount of money based on that name being associated, right? So that's like an associated brand thing. Mm-hmm. But I was just an auditioner, so I didn't like make these huge residuals, but it's still a worldwide spot. So
sick, man.
It's still pretty good.
That's a great ad.
Yeah, it was just really fun. Like, I got big, 6-foot drones chasing me through the woods of Whistler and like burning cabins and stuff. And literally, I had to put on a green suit, much like yourself, and run through a wall.
Nice.
Yeah, I had safety goggles on, and like they put these like really thin plywood walls together.
Yeah.
And just okay. And you gotta go in and you run as fast as you can and run right through it. I'm like, all right, let's go.
All right. Be prepared to take a back seat because there's a new actor in town. I should put up the tag. Courtesy. There I am. Wait. There I am. There it is. No key and tires. If you haven't seen the ad, you haven't been to Finland because that is it aired in some parts of Finland. And
still got the buyout though, didn't you?
I was cast as an extra, and I got there and there were 4 of us. I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. And then I learned this. You just kind of you lean in a little bit to the shot. And then
you should use the camera.
Oh yeah, it's probably a better idea. Yeah, you lean in a little bit to the shot, and then you get your head in so many shots that they can't take you out. They pay you as a principal. So I haven't received an acting job since, probably because I pulled that move.
You haven't added that to your reel tape, have you?
I haven't.
Come on.
It's a split second. You can see my face, and I believe my fiance is tuned in this evening. The blonde lady in the commercial. I asked her out, and it did not go well.
Clearly.
Yeah, that date never happened. So, but anyways, just wanted you to take a slice of humble pie there.
Parallel universes.
Not the only actor in town.
Same.
Exactly. Same, but different. All right, finally, what are we talking here? Actually, this is nothing, but we do have a bit of a format change to let you know about. We tried it out last week. We liked it. It worked out very well. Rather than going through the days of the week, we're just going to tell you about the major sport, and then we'll tell you about what's going on through their weeks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Nah.
They'll see.
Okay. All right. But first, this.
Drip, drip, drip. Ladies, you don't have to sleep with that drip tonight. You know, that annoying drip in your home you just haven't gotten around to getting rid of? Berard Roofing and Drainage can fix that annoying drip. For 40 years, Burrard Roofing and Drainage has been fixing roof leaks right down to the cause, guaranteed. Call Burrard Roofing and Drainage. Call 604-986-1812. Burrard Roofing and Drainage. We've got you.
I lied to you because I acted in the Burrard Roofing commercial there as well. So, I mean, this career's taken off. I don't want to. I don't want to brag. I mean, a lot of people just get a little too full of themselves when they go Hollywood. But I mean, it's about giving back. It's about the kids.
Living to your truest self and being an inspiration for the next generation, I think, is the.
It's my journey. I'm blessed.
Real
purpose. I'm blessed. All right, why don't we talk a little hockey here, a little NHL. All you need to know this week, you need to know nothing else. This is it. Vancouver plays in Las Vegas on Friday. That's all you need to know. And this is why. I did the math. If you leave Thursday, you come back Saturday. That's a nice little stretch. You head down to Vegas, $4.95 on Flight Hub for a flight down. Pretty good Canadian. Stay at the Excalibur, which isn't the greatest hotel, but great casino, and it's right across the street, literally, from the T-Mobile Arena. That's what it is. Found that on Expedia. And tickets are about roughly $100 each on StubHub. You can get them cheaper for that at the door. You're roughly looking at $800 Canadian for 3 nights in Vegas and a hockey game. Watching the Canucks no less on the road. Pretty cool experience. Meanwhile, same day, 1 week later, here in town, Nashville's taking on Vancouver next Friday. Section 106, row 3, $320 a person. And then you add in parking, which is usually at least $40. And then you add in hot dogs, a gourmet burger, you add in some beers on there. You're looking at least $400, $450. That's why don't you just pay twice that and go have a sweet little weekend? It's ridiculous. I don't know. I'm preaching to the choir. Who wouldn't want to go to Vegas? Yeah. But I'm just saying, the price is right, man. The price is right. So if you were thinking about looking up something for the Canucks in Vegas, it's their first trip down, I believe, or on a Friday. Anyhow, it's perfect timing. Get the hell out of here. Turn off the week ahead. Go book your trip to Vegas. Go check out Flight Hub. Good deals going on there. They are not a sponsor, but I felt the need to say that. So let's move on. Let's talk a little Champions League here, perhaps. First, though, real quick, do we want to talk about what's going on at Portmanteau Stereo?
Portmanteau Stereo, yeah. I mean, we're I don't know. You guys, I don't know anything about pitch decks, right? So now I gotta go. I was talking last week about I was trying to put together this pitch deck about going and getting that Dragon's Den money. We were at Dragon's Den, we didn't take the money, but now we got to redo the Dragon's Den money, and try to hit us into the next stratosphere because we need help. If we're gonna grow, we need growth investment. So now I got to pitch deck. So now I'm trying to talk to any business guys I know that know anything about pitch deck. So this week, I'm trying to figure out how to make a wicked pitch deck so I can show all you potential investors, which I'm sure there's a million of them that listen to the show. Mm-hmm. Portmanteau's coming for you. You're going to see us everywhere.
I like it. And also, just, for the hell of it, little thanks to the fine folks at Caribou Brewing. We've got the blonde going on here, a little malty. Nice touch.
I never had the Caribou blonde, but
you liking it? You digging it?
Well, mine's way gone. I had mine with wings.
That was the pretty good warm up there.
We're gonna get to the wings.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, while we're at it, let's give away some stuff here as well. We have $25 to Jaeger's Restaurant and Sports Bar. All you have to do is just comment right now. Just put a comment up. You could just write down, just keyboard mash anything, and I'm going to give you $25 to Jaeger's.
And you can probably buy 2 orders of these.
Yeah.
Shanghai, and some honey.
Yeah.
A little bit of spice, almost a miso spice with some honey maybe.
Yeah.
The other ones were black and blue buffalo.
Yeah.
Those are actually probably top 2 or 3 that we've had from Jaeger's.
Yeah.
Black and blue, so it's like a buffalo sauce with blue cheese already built in.
They absolutely killed it this week. They did very good. Nicely done. If you want something, look at this. Andrew Soda Wadden. Done deal. I wonder if that's the same Andrew Soda Wadden from TSN 1040. He sounds like a good man, this Andrew Soda Wadden.
There's probably not too many Andrews out there, so...
Yeah, he's going to get himself... there's a DJ Soda out there, too. Might be one and the same. I don't know. Anyways, check it out, but he's going to Jaeger's. We're also going to give away, we have Behind the Green, or your choice, the 50th NHL All-Star Game stamp collection. Jay, you can send mail for months with this.
Well, and now you have, I just want to know where you get all this stuff.
This is just a through the years collection, and
I'm very impressed. Like, you listeners should be very appreciative of all of this memorabilia.
I mean,
Ryan,
the Florida Panthers bobblehead.
Who doesn't want this stuff?
The Damon Allen BC Lions bobblehead. It's pretty good.
It's amazing.
It's
amazing.
It's decent. So okay, let's see here. You got the Jacques Plante, the Doug Harvey. Okay, you know what? If you want the NHL All-Star Game stamp collection, is there something that we should do, or?
Well, we should do some kind of hockey trivia, most likely.
We probably should.
So why don't we do this? Since let's stay with the masks.
Yeah.
If you recognize this mask,
that's what you're. Yeah, there you go. Okay. You know what? Yeah, put it in front of your camera, and I will rock that. There you go. Whose mask is that?
Whose mask is this?
Whose mask is that?
Judging, look at the sides. Look at that.
Yeah, that is
ferocious flying animal.
Whose mask is that? If you can name that mask, I'm gonna give you some stamps.
You win this. You win the NHL vintage stamps.
These stamps are 18 years old, so I don't know if they're still gonna work. Do stamps expire? I don't know. Who knows? Anyways, name that mask. It rhymes with Eddie the Beagle. Okay, so why don't we just move on? How about that? And we will finish up strong with a little Champions League. This isn't finishing up at all, but let's talk a little Champions League. Real quick, we got Bayern against Besiktas going on tomorrow. Same thing, Chelsea and Barcelona happening tomorrow. Barcelona.
Yeah, I'll be at the TV. I think watching those ones. Chelsea Barcelona is always, but I think Barcelona is a heavy favorite there. Chelsea does well. Don't get me wrong; they're a great team, but
yeah,
I don't think they're going to knock Barcelona out of the Champions League. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that
you got to be pretty damn good to pull that off. And
yeah, of course
Chelsea's had a few flaws this season, no question.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't see that happening. I think it's another one of those. Bayern, I think, is really starting to do well. James, the Colombian, is doing fantastic. He had one of the best, calmest finishes I've seen in a long time this last week, and I think he's starting to hit his stride in a new place. Like any time these big stars move, it's always a couple, transition phases of kind of getting your feet settled in new cultures and get the fans behind you, and all of the kind of forwards like that. They need that glory, and he's scoring some goals now and doing really well, and I see them continuing to get to the later rounds. We talked about it last week. It's just really starting to get good now.
It's not bad, man.
And Chelsea Barcelona, who doesn't want to watch that? So I'll be watching it tomorrow. But I'm doing a 2-1 Barcelona, 2-0 Bayern.
Okay, that's fair. Besiktas. I mean, I always love for the underdogs, but once it gets to the round of 16, the herd is pretty much thinned, and if you're still standing, you won't be for long. So I mean, Bayern's
very
a powerhouse.
rarely does a team like Besiktas get past this.
Yeah, Bayern's a powerhouse.
But
I could see that being a blanket, like you say. I like your predictions. Wednesday we got Sevilla taking on Man U, Shakhtar Donetsk taking on Roma as well on Wednesday, and then leg 2, if you were wondering from the games this past week, they're going to be going on. They're starting up March 6th, so keep that in mind. Let's talk a little basketball. So that's a tiny bit, because we got to get out of here pretty quick. But we're going to talk a little basketball.
Any D. Mitchell updates?
I do. I've got a little D. Mitchell update here for you. You can. Well, actually, no. He's playing the team down the road, but it's actually in Utah, so it's really down the road. Nonetheless, we'll get to that in just a moment. The NBA content of this show is brought to you by Jaeger's. Jaeger's Restaurant and Sports Bars. They've been serving up some of the best damn comfort food for 12 years running. If you want to dig in, this is the perfect time. Not only a great spot for sports, each location has trivia wing and karaoke nights as well. I'm going to show your camera for eating that wing. Look at that. That's gorgeous. Wow. You can book their free private party room downtown. It accommodates up to 40 people. It's got a big screen surround sound system that caters to any event. The close-up. Gorgeous. Yeah, nice Gil Morgan. Inside joke. That is from a different restaurant, actually. But best of all, that party room is free.
Are you still on me too?
Oh, yeah. Jaeger's 2 locations ready to serve in Kitsilano and Gastown. Check them out at Jaegers.com. And by the way, this Saturday, Starting at 5 o'clock, Jaegers has Simpsons Trivia in their downtown location. So Saturday at 5, you want to head out, get a little meal, get a couple drinks in you, and then head out on the town. Perfect spot. You got Simpsons Trivia. Beautiful. Beautiful
What was the one
stuff.
you just said earlier? Gums McGee. What was his name?
Oh yeah, well we were talking about the anthem there with Fergie Ferg, and we were talking about Bleeding Gums Murphy.
Well, there you go.
On The Simpsons.
Maybe that will be one of the questions.
With his 40-minute anthem, pretty much the same, man. I'm pretty sure that anthem topped at least 4 minutes. So, nonetheless, why don't we talk a little basketball? With the All-Star weekend over and done with, NBA takes a little bit of a break. They get back to action on Thursday. Here's the biggest games of the week to keep an eye out for. Washington taking on Cleveland. Let's see how Cleveland does. They had that game right before the break against Boston. They blew them out of the water. Everybody lost their minds after all the trades that were made. Cleveland all of a sudden is the favorite in the NBA. Let's pump the brakes a little. Let's see how they do here against the Washington Wizards. Philadelphia taking on Chicago, the revamped rebirth of the Chicago Bulls with Zach LaVine in the lineup. Then you got the Clippers taking on Golden State. On Friday, you got Milwaukee taking on Toronto. It's a decent game. Toronto's tearing it up right now, so that'll be fun to watch. Minnesota taking on Houston. Wiggins taking on Harden. And then you got Portland taking on Utah. A little Donovan Mitchell there. Taking on Dame Lillard. And if you're in Vancouver, you should be a fan of the Portland Trailblazers. I can't say this enough. I know it's a different country, but it's so much closer, and you can go down and watch a game. It's a great experience. OKC taking on Golden State on Saturday. That highlights the start of the weekend. And then on Sunday, San Antonio taking on Cleveland. That will be the test for the new look Cleveland Cavaliers. Now let's move over and talk a little Olympics. And while we're at it, why don't we tip our glasses and have a little bit of Viognier.
Oh.
We got the Connoisseur Bicicleta Viognier, a 2017 bottle, slightly aged, a couple months. So why don't we spill a little bit on the table?
Let's do the... We've gone over the notes before, right?
I believe so, but hang on one second. I just got to get this out there. Number 1 selling Chilean winery. By the way, Bicicleta range of wines are amazing values that you can enjoy for just $10.99 a bottle at any BC liquor store. Tons of variety there. Okay, let's... what are you tasting?
Extra citrusy. I'm talking...
Ooh, curveball. Okay.
Oranges and... like limes and lemons, like extra citrusy. I mean, like real citrusy fruits.
We got some citrusy fruits, but none of what you just said.
Peach, maybe? No.
Yes? You're 1 for 3? Keep going along.
I'll stop at peach.
Okay, it's along the peach family lineage line there. We got apricots, we got orange aromas.
Okay. I said orange.
Did you say orange?
Yes.
I missed it, I'm sorry. This is the perfect wine to serve with many Chinese dishes as well, just in time for Chinese New Year.
Shanghai.
The Shanghai?
No wonder.
Just in time for Chinese New Year.
See, we don't even try to do this, and all the pieces just fall into place.
There it is. Perfect, man. There you go. All right, let's talk a little Olympics, shall we? Canada right now 3rd in the medal standings, entering the week with 17 on the board. The record for the country, 2010, of course, they put up 26. So pretty good squad. We said.
John Furlong, who we saw at that event a couple weeks ago, said he believes that this year they will win more medals.
Absolutely, and it's a damn shame that there's not enough sponsorship behind them. We've been over this. The amateur athletes, they need the extra funding. They need the sponsors to step up, like they did with Own the Podium, and it just didn't happen enough with Korea. And you've got the results right there. Anyhow, 17 well on their way to 26 or more. Team Canada hits the ice this week as well, of course. They play the winner of South Korea versus Finland. That is on Wednesday. The South Korea-Finland quarterfinal, I believe, is tomorrow. That decides who takes on Canada in the next round. Outside of hockey, Tuesday and Friday, you get medals in figure skating. Have you been watching any figure skating?
A little bit, yeah.
It's good stuff, man.
The ice dancing?
It's good. The ice dance, yeah. Virtue and...
Moyer.
Is it Moyer? Moyer?
It's Moyer, yeah.
Moyer.
Moyer.
Okay, so I think they're still around. They'll be probably participating as well. I'm not sure which day, the Tuesday or the Friday, but curling medal rounds on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Snowboard medals on Friday and Saturday. Speed skating medals Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Check that out. And the ski cross kicking off.
All week, so I think it starts tomorrow night, which is like next day broadcast. So you're talking Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I think would be the days that they would be on.
Okay, beautiful. And you can catch
Well, I think
Ashley.
you got hopefuls too. Marielle Thompson, ex-gold medalist. She's coming off an ACL, but I think she, as of right now, is going to compete.
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey Surwa, I would say, is one of the hot favorites. Silver medalist from Sochi.
Yeah.
Now coming in great form. She's from Kelowna in BC. She's, the pride and joy of Kelowna, BC.
There it is.
But yeah, she's pumped and ready to go. And I think I would tip her as my favorite right now, unless Marielle's feeling great.
Okay.
Because then Marielle really dominates the sport these days. She's done back-to-back Crystal Globes, but coming off an ACL, she's not going to be at her best. But Kelsey is back to her best, and she was always right up there with Ashley and Marielle too. So I see her having a good Olympics.
I love it. And like I say, ski cross, a guy that's completely unbiased, because your wife's a ski cross champion. You have to be a little biased in the sport. Completely unbiased, a spectacle to watch, a great sport. If you didn't watch it, the last Olympic Games, because the courses are longer during the Olympics, is that right? There's different courses.
Yeah, I think so.
They said that a few times, I think. So, anyways, check it out. It's unbelievable. So that's coming up. Keep an eye on that. All right, side notes before we get out of here. Kendall Wasson extended through 2019. Loving that.
Great, man. I'll talk to that. There are trade rumors today, though.
Oh.
That his partner in Central Defense, Tim Parker, may be going to New York. And they're bringing in this guy, Felipe, from the New York Red Bulls, who's a goal scorer. So it'll be interesting. I hope, fingers crossed, it's not true. And it's rumors. I was going to say that Parker and Watson are the best center-half partnership in the league, and I truly believe I'm center back. So I know how important that is, the center-half partnership, and how that helps build the team from there. So I hope that's not true, but sewing him up, captain, really owning into that captain role too. Over the last season, he was a bit of a disciplinary nightmare. He's a bit trying to find his feet in the culture and all that stuff here, being from Costa Rica, but he's certainly done that. He's a fan favorite now, certainly one of the best in the league. Signing those guys to longer term deals is hugely important for this organization here in Vancouver. I think Kendall Watson's as good as they come. So yeah, great signing.
Couldn't agree more, man. I absolutely love it, and that means that my jersey is not dated.
That's right.
I got the Waston jersey.
We're getting black jerseys soon.
Yeah, damn straight.
Both ordered a medium, by the way.
Yeah, thank you,
We just
Piccolo.
can't wear them outside of the studio.
Yeah, look jacked.
Yeah.
Okay, so Whitecap season, by the way, kicks off on March the 4th. Baseball players reported already to their spring training. Spring training itself, the schedule, the Cactus, the Grapefruit League, all that good stuff gets underway start of March. Any final notes for yourself?
No. I think looking forward to another good week. I got Oaks, my son, this week down here while Mom's in Toronto doing commentary. But we've talked about this in the show last week. Doing commentary live from the Olympics from Toronto is quite interesting. It's an interesting conversation.
The time zone change for her is going to be going to be a fun one.
Yeah, it's like 2 a.m. and she has to pretend that it's that she's you don't tell the commentaries to pretend like you're there.
Yeah.
But they don't actually mention it, so it actually makes it this like an awkward situation. Like you can't talk about the environment.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like it's hot, cold down there, or it looks like the fans are going wild. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of crazy, but I'm looking forward to joining that and listening to Ashley this week.
Very nice. I have absolutely no side notes. I will tell you, though, that you can get involved. You can go check out the podcast on iTunes. It's on the App Store. It's in Google Play. It's iHeartRadio. It's all over the place. It's going to be on the Daily Hive tomorrow morning as well. Check that out. And you can check out this video anytime you want. Just join the Green Men official page or at D6 Merit anytime. And you can fish us out there as well. Coming up next week, we are hoping, fingers crossed, I've lined up a little get-together with Victor Oreskovich. Yes, of the 2011 Canucks, that word was Canucks Cup run. He was a tough guy, He was a bit of an outsider looking in, but the guy was a beauty. He lives over, and he might live near LaSalle. I don't know. He's over in Ontario now. But nonetheless, we caught up with him. And if not, I've still got word out to Anthony Scaramucci.
Ooh.
So we're hoping to get the mooch.
Fingers crossed for the mooch.
One of these days, buddy. One of these days, we'll get that mooch on here. Anyhow, that's to come another day. That was the week ahead. I hope you enjoyed it. His name's Jay. My name's Ryan. Thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you for the booze. We will see you next time.